We made it back to YouTube.
Cheers,
okay,
everybody.
Let's do our taste test.
Cheers. It's
I feel like I'm expecting something more, something deeper.
Do you know what? It's a
Deeper connection.
it's a bit cold. I think we need. It's like not quite room temperature, but it's the best Ribena I've ever had.
Yeah, it's the best cranberry juice. Hi.
Hi guys.
We are finally back.
It's been a minute, hasn't it?
We were going to be back about 48 hours ago. We've already filmed this, and it was, in true Boswell style, a complete disaster because we filmed it for about 50 minutes, and when I went to watch it back, halfway through, the sound just completely cut off.
About 10 minutes in, wasn't it? Out of a 50-minute video, 10 minutes of audio was good, and then 40 minutes was just like...
So we were depressed naturally and couldn't bring ourselves to do it again for a good few days, but we're back and we're going to try again. We hope you've all had a great start to the year. I know the last time we checked in it was the day before our wedding, so it's a long time, isn't it, since we've actually seen you or spoke to you guys, so we've got so much to fill you in on. I popped a sticker on Instagram a few days ago asking if anyone had any questions or anything, just to kind of help give us something to talk about, so we'll go through them. But is there anything you want to start off with? Should we get the wedding out the way, because I feel like we need to say something.
I mean, obviously, like, the wedding video will be out as soon as we get it. We thought it would be out soon, and we were kind of like waiting for the wedding video to come. That was going to be our next video, and then we were going to start again. But it's just taken ages to get hold of it. We still haven't got it, actually. So that will come out soon. But basically, the day itself, certainly for me, it was the best day of my life.
Oh God, yeah.
I loved every second of it, and I really feel like it lived up to every expectation it could have done.
Yeah, I mean, to me it exceeded. Like, you think you know what your day is going to be like, but it was just... For me, the team at the venue was so good that I really didn't have to think or worry about anything. And I think that's what made me have such a great experience. And the people there were so good, and we just had so much fun.
It was, I think the best thing happened like about 2 weeks before, where we were a bit nudgy, weren't we? We were just a bit like bickery and like, you know, just... I think it was just like, because we were so busy with the wedding stuff, like driving up and down, and it was like, we weren't even enjoying it, and we were like, you know, we were like just a bit nudgy and a bit stressy, and it was like, we sat down and had a conversation, and we're like,
what are we doing?
We're getting married in 2 weeks, this is supposed to be amazing, and let's nip this in the bud right now. Like, it doesn't matter, you know, whatever else needs doing, we're not letting it stress us out. Yeah. We're going to actually enjoy this process. Yeah. And from that day, literally, for the next 2 weeks before the wedding, we had no stress. Yeah. We just had every day laughing, joking, and enjoying each other. And we made a plan for the actual day itself to just like keep checking in, because obviously people say like when you get married,
we never left each other's side.
You never see you'll never see her on the day. And I was like, well,
that's not
that ain't happening. And so we made, felt like the longest night ever.
Yeah, so the night before the wedding, we did the traditional thing of like we stayed in separate
That's
rooms.
the first night in 2 years of being together that we spent apart.
Yes, I had the house, and then you were in like a little eco pod, weren't you?
I was in a tent down the road.
It wasn't in a tent. But we did the traditional thing, and that is literally the first time in years since we've been together
that we've spent apart.
She
slept like a baby.
I was editing YouTube videos. I was getting that video up for the next day, so I had something to keep me busy. Slept like a dream though.
Yeah, I had nothing from her all night. I was sat there like writing my speech at about 5 a.m. I think.
But yeah, we had the best time, and we can't wait to show you all the wedding video when we get it. But yeah, we just thought we'd quickly chat to you about that, because obviously we haven't spoken to you since then, so it's only right that
we like after wedding itself, obviously, it was just before Christmas. We haven't been on honeymoon or anything, but we just decided to take Christmas and that period after just to ourselves, didn't we? Like we didn't go and see family or anything. We've been awful, really selfish, but it was just bliss. Like our honeymoon was kind of staying at home and just with the horses. We've still ridden and trained and stuff, haven't we? But
we basically did just everything we always do, as in ourselves and the horses.
Yeah.
But we really said no more people.
And no more travel. We're not leaving home.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was bliss. But now, obviously, New Year has come. January's out the way because that's always a bit of a misery, isn't it? And we are chomping at the bit to get going again and get some great content for you guys. And like, you know, we've got exciting things happening, haven't we? With competing and horses going really well. So.
Just this year is like, well, it kind of feels like from this past week or so, the year that we're dealt with is very different to what we thought it was going into it, and not in a negative way. It's exciting, isn't it? Like how much can change. Like life just changes so quickly, and you know, we've both got, like we were talking the other night and we were sharing like our goals that we want for the year, and it's just always so exciting knowing that you've got the whole year ahead to do what you really like, what you want to do, and go out there and get your goals smashed.
Yeah, we're so lucky in that sense, like with the horses and things like that. It always is like, don't get me wrong, sometimes it's really hard and it's like a proper roller coaster, isn't it, all the time?
Oh, God, yeah.
But like with wherever you are, whether you're on a down day or an up day or whatever, there's always something that's going to drive you forwards that you've got to look forward to, or that you need to conquer, or like there's never a day where you don't have purpose. Yeah. You know, there's always something to get your teeth into, and I think that's like, as long as you don't dwell on the down days for too long. I mean, but that's how we get ourselves out of the down days, isn't it? It's like, okay, well today isn't where we want to be. What can we do about it, and how do we get where we want to be? Yeah.
Yeah, and we're always talking about it, aren't we? Like as a couple, we're always checking in, making sure we're on the right path, and
is there anything else we can do?
So on that note, one of the questions that we got asked is goals for the year. So what would your goals for the year be?
Well, for those of you, well, most of you probably don't know Fireball, but there's a few of you probably that have followed us for a few years and stuff on other socials. Fireball's my current Grand Prix horse, but for the last 18 months he's been sick and sorry, hasn't he? Yeah. And to the point where I didn't know if he was ever going to bounce back. It's been really, really tough. And thankfully, in the last 6 months, he's really come to and he's rallied and he's looking the best he's ever looked. And I've actually booked in a Grand Prix for a week today or a week yesterday? Friday. And I'm going out to do a Grand Prix. And to be honest, it's just at a little local show. It's nothing big, but
it is big.
It means the world.
We've wanted to get him out for so long, and we just
means
haven't
the world to
been
get him
able
out. And I just love, I love the horse. He's a real trier, and he seems to have terrible luck. But in the same breath, he finds all the Grand Prix work pretty easy, and he's a real trier, and he enjoys it. So it's nice to get out and about with him. I take every show as it comes with him because we've had such a tricky health journey with him, but my goal for this year would be to try and get some international qualifying scores and maybe get in an international as well.
Yeah, and do you think you'll be out doing advanced mediums with Belinsky this year?
My goal with Belinsky is definitely that could happen. But the biggest thing, we're struggling a little bit with his changes. They've not been the easiest, and so I've taken a bit of time out competing with him just to get those sorted. And then as soon as I've got those sorted, I probably will go out and do a advanced medium or two, but I probably won't actually campaign him at advanced medium. I'll just aim to get straight out at Prix St George. Cool. So I'm hoping that happens this year sooner rather than later. But he's a horse you can't rush. He's such a special talent.
So sensitive.
And very sensitive, and as much as you can have your goals set, you always have to manage where his confidence is, and you can you can't push past that. You have to just take where he is on the day and do what you can. So yeah, but he's going really, really well, isn't he? And he's made huge improvements this winter, so
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we'll be out soon. What about you? What are your goals?
My goals are, so me and Babs have obviously recently stepped up to elementary, and we did our regionals a few weeks ago, and it was, I knew we were pushing it when we went there because we weren't really ready at home, and we went, and there was just a few things in the test that I really wasn't happy with, as in like her way of going, and it was one of them tests where we came away and we were like, right, we know what needs to be better at home, we know what we need to work on, and it gave us a really clear vision of what we need to do. And so I just said, look, there's no point me bringing her out to any more competitions until it's nailed at home, you know, where she needs to be. And so we've quietly been chipping away at that, haven't we? And, you know, I would like to get her out towards the end of the year successfully at elementary, as in like I'm hoping that by that point she's smashing it because we've built all the right foundations at home. So I would love to try again for the summer at elementary, and just keep going with her. It's both of our first time at the level, and it's a big step up from prelim and novice, bigger than, you know, if you've never done it before, you don't really know what you're getting yourself into until you've done it.
It is a big step up, and I think like what you've learned, and it's been, I've said it to you in the past, but like it becomes really apparent when you actually get there, and you're obviously going up the levels for the first time on your own, is that like being able to do the movements for whatever level you want to go out is one thing, but actually to be able to ride the test that you need to be able to ride, you need to be way more established than just being able to do the movements. So for like an elementary horse, you need to be like working medium, advanced medium at home to go out and do that elementary test flawless.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was just for me like a little bit of naivety on my part, as in like, you know, you step up from novice to elementary and you look at the floor plan and you're like, oh, you know, some shoulder ins, some leg yields, we do good simple changes at home, it should be fine. But like stringing it all together in a test and hitting every marker exactly when you need to, and you know, if you let one movement get away with you, you're kind of playing catch up throughout the whole test. And if your horse isn't where you want them to be, you're not going to get them back. Well, I'm not, because I'm not a professional. Like there's too much going on, and so we really need to get more established at the level at home before we can go out and do a test that I'm really happy with out. But that's my goal with Babs and the changes, which I think we will smash this year.
Yeah.
She's done a few clean changes, so it's looking...
She looks like she's going to be a quick learner.
And then Bonbon is just coming back into work now, so was it before the wedding? She's basically had like the most horrible hoof abscess. She came out the box one day and was like crippled lame, and it's taken us weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks just drawing out this hoof abscess, which we're finally at the other side of it, so I can start riding her again. And if the year was to go perfectly, if I could get her out at the end of the year doing something, then that would be a great year.
Yeah, absolutely.
But she's such a sensitive horse, and we're really taking it slow with her, aren't we, and making sure we do everything in the most positive way possible, because she's not your typical...
She's not your typical horse. She's very, very hot, and in some ways easy to train, as in she's so sensitive you can kind of teach her anything in 5 minutes.
And she'll
but
get
what
it.
you can't teach her in 5 minutes is relaxation.
No.
Because she's naturally so highly strung.
Yeah.
And I think like that really like is what's going to take the time. And
it's just going to be that, getting her to relax.
Yeah. And she's probably never going to be a particularly great novice
lower
horse.
level horse, no.
She's, you know, until you've got more control of her body, you're not going to be able to control her relaxation. So,
no. She's super flashy and super fancy.
Very exciting.
So she's worth the wait. She's so worth the wait. Okay, so update on all the horses. So we've given Bonbon We've given Fireball, kind of given Belinsky, given Babs.
Yeah. The junior, the young horse we've got might be sold, so I think he's...
I don't know, did they ever know junior? I don't
Well,
know.
anyway,
But
might be sold.
basically, we had, so if you followed us and have watched our YouTube videos before, we had
This
a
wine
nest.
tastes like ass.
Not mine.
No, it is.
Anyway, we had a Nesto in who Henry went toys on, and he taught me the flying changes. Anyway, his owner sent us a 4-year-old that they bred to be sold, and there's a few clips of us on our Instagram riding him. He's really sweet, and he might be sold.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So that's some good news. That's pretty much it from the horses. Do you ride each other's horses? Love your YouTube.
Thank you. And yeah, we do.
He rides mine more than I ride his because his scare me.
I sit on Babs occasionally just to help you, and also as Indy's trainer and stuff, it's really good for me to just sometimes check in with what Babs is feeling like, because Indy's got really good at riding Babs. She's quite good at sometimes hiding things,
Issues.
that are going on.
Yeah.
And so she'll struggle with something, and I'm like, I can't work out why. So
I
sit on, and I'm like, oh, okay, this bit's not working or that bit's not working, and we can then work on it. And it's just really, really useful for me to sit on and check in with her.
Yeah.
And then you can sit on mine. So you've sat on Fireball and had a play with some PF massage and some changes. Sat on Junior, on the 4-year-old, and you had a nice ride on him. And Belinsky, you had an amazing cruise on him. He looked stunning with you on, didn't he?
Yeah.
But he's a little bit more, I think, intimidating just because he's so big and he's so flashy.
Well, he's had a bit of a history, hasn't he? And I'm easily scared by, if a horse is big, if a horse is really sensitive, and
he ticks all those boxes.
if I see them doing something and I'm like, I don't want anything to do with that, and I'm like...
He would never, he's not a nasty horse at all, but he's just a sensitive, nervous, big mover.
Yeah.
But he loved you.
Yeah, he did.
Great.
I didn't ask for much.
Thought you
but
were
he
great.
loved
Just walked trotting cats around, floating around. It looked amazing.
Yeah, but Babs at the minute, she's well and truly in her teenage era. She's in her no era. She's in the sassy era, isn't she? So Henry's been helping me a little bit with that, just so that things don't escalate, because they have been getting to a point in training where it's like, okay, you really need to not be doing that, Babs, because this isn't funny. So you're just helping me a bit, make sure that that's not a...
Well, I think that she's Babs by nature. When you started out with her and as a horse, she dealt with any stress in an introverted way, which is really, really lovely for most people. If you're of a nervous disposition or whatever, if she got stressed, she just held her breath and was very inward, and that's fine and great. But actually, if you want to make a Grand Prix dressage horse, that's not very useful. And so bit by bit, Babs has been finding more confidence about becoming outward with her reactions, which we've been encouraging. We need her to be more responsive, because you're going into the ring and she'd go shell-shocked and you'd lose all your energy. And so bit by bit, she's learned to be more extrovert. And then, when we're at the back end of winter, the weather's cold, she's not had enough turnout. Then when, say, something like the trailer whizzes past or there's a noise, rather than her going in on herself, she's been going bing! and
I've been going bing!
And it's not, for me...
I've not come off,
but
it's just not fun.
And for me as her trainer, it's not a bad thing what she's doing, but obviously there is also a limit, that she needs to understand, she's allowed to react, but there is also a point at which, when you close the rein and close your leg, that she has to come back to you, and that wasn't happening quick enough. Obviously, with your inexperience of riding a horse like that, that's suddenly turned into a Ferrari. It just sometimes helps me to get on and channel that energy, because actually the last thing we want to do is squash the energy. We don't want to stop her. We've just got her to this point. But we need that energy to be channeled, so that when she becomes more extrovert, she gets flashier, or she does fancy things rather than naughty things.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Should I stay on horses or there's a few house questions? Should we do all the horses or
do whatever you
mix
want.
it up?
Whatever.
We'll quickly get the house news out of the way. So one of the last videos we posted, basically, we were buying a house and we're not now because the woman that owned the house that we were buying was just messing us around. And it was just a really negative experience, wasn't it? Like we'd offered asking price, we'd basically said yes to everything she'd asked for, and it still wasn't enough. And we were just like, you're kind of taking the mick now, and we kind of had an epiphany as well out of the other side of it when we'd agreed that we were going to pull out from the sale. We kind of spoke to each other and were like, look, we're on site with the horses. We've wanted this for as long as we could remember, like this lifestyle. Why are we throwing that away so quickly? Like, we enjoy our life so much at the minute, don't we? Of like how easy everything is. You can pop downstairs whenever you want to ride, whenever you want to feed the horses. It's just so easy. And so it just, in hindsight, it didn't make sense to rush into buying somewhere.
I think it was like one of those times that you just have to like listen to the universe. And we spent a month bending over backwards trying to do everything that this seller wanted us to do. And for whatever reason, I don't know what was going on with her, but there was just whatever we did wasn't enough. And after bending over so long, it was like, okay, wait. It just gave us a moment of reflection, and it was like, oh, hang on, the universe is just saying like no.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I think we listened to it because once we kind of like, it's that thing, isn't it? Everyone's like, you need to own your house. You should be paying a mortgage, not paying rent. All of that stuff. All that stuff just runs through your head. And actually, like you just said, like we waited to live on site with our horses forever.
Yeah.
So let's enjoy it for a minute and not have a commute. And it's so nice. It's so nice. The lifestyle is so nice. Like the work is hard, but the lifestyle is nice. And
and if it's 10 o'clock at night and I want to go and cuddle my horse, I can literally just go down.
Thankfully, none of our horses have been under the weather, but if they are,
with that,
the level of care you can give them is so much easier.
Yeah.
So much easier.
Yeah. So we're just gonna stay put where we are for now and just enjoy this moment and being here. We love our apartment as well, which helps, doesn't it? Like we have a really nice little setup in here, so we're just gonna stay. Okay, how is it going with Raisin? So, as of last week, I'm no longer riding Raisin. Basically, there's just been a change in her owner's circumstances. She doesn't want to have as many horses as she has anymore. And so we just spoke to each other and basically she wants to sell Raisin. So we agreed from that point that I'll no longer be riding her. But we've had such a great year together. Like, for those of you who are new to the channel or don't know, Raisin is a Spanish horse. She's like a 15-3, is it PRE
Andalusian.
mare. And when we moved on to this yard, I'd kind of seen her a few times and I just had this idea in my head that I'd love to ride her. And we approached Karen, our landlord, one day and just said, could I ride her? And so I did, and she was aside from Babs, who is my own horse, she was the second horse that I'd ever really ridden. And so it was a really great experience for me. Her temperament was so different to what I was used to. She was Spanish, she was really hot and sensitive. And just so much fun, and we've had such a great year together. She's taught me a lot, and it's just our time together has come to an end.
It's tough though, isn't it? It's really tough when you.
I'm not gonna lie, this is me being like, I'm at the other side of it. When I first found out, I was so upset.
It's one of the things that as a professional rider, it's like it's something that it's inevitable. At some point, you're going to be riding a horse for an owner, and that horse,
nothing lasts forever.
That journey ends, and I've been through it many times, and it's kind of like your like a coming of age situation. It's a horrible thing, And like, because every horse that you ride or train, you inevitably develop a bond with, and yours and Raisin's was really special. But you know, it's come to an end. When one door closes, another one opens, and there will be other horses.
Yeah, I mean,
and she'll go on and do great things with someone else.
The timing of it, like obviously Bonbon's been out for a while. She's just come back into work, and she really needs our focus right now. Like
she needs a lot of time.
She needs a lot of time.
Yeah.
And just having, like, you know, at the minute it's me and Babs and Bonbon, I'll be able to give her that time. And you know, I had Raisin for less than a year, so it would have been a lot harder if we'd have trained her for a lot longer than that. So you just kind of have to look at it as like, you know.
And on the plus side, I've
learned so much with her. I've had a great experience. I've ridden a horse that you know, is different to what I'm used to, which will help me with future horses. And I think it's just kind of, we're going to just keep it like we look after our own horses, aren't we now? Like, I think we just need to focus on our own, and obviously Henry has owners.
But my owners are all really, really long term now. I'm very lucky. Like we have a small situation, and you know, multiple years in with the relationships and the horses that I have with them, and they're, you know, it doesn't mean that these things can never change. Of course they can, but yeah, it's just kind of less is more, and manage what you've got better.
Yeah. Any more questions? Feeding routine. I feel like that's something we'll show.
So there's a few that like feeding routine and like yard routine and stuff like that. And I figured like the best thing we can do for those videos, if you can bear with us, is with those questions, is just to do. They deserve like a video in themselves. So
and it changes
we will cover those, and get some content out of it.
Yeah, and I'm currently like trying out some supplements, especially for Babs with her, how she's been at the minute. So I'd like to give them a chance before I share if I think they're worth it or not. Daily routine, yard routine. Will Indy ever take up teaching? No.
She will.
I'm still the pupil.
I've been teaching all day, that's just why I look like a zombie. But
You've had a tough day, haven't you?
I've had a long
day.
day.
You know what? He's always encouraging me. Like one day I'll start teaching, and I'm like, you don't sell it to me. Like I watch you in that school every day, freezing cold. It's so monotonous. I've got zero patience.
Do you know what?
I just couldn't do it. Like
you think that you couldn't do it. It's the best job. Don't get me wrong, it's hard, and like after a full day's teaching I come in like a zombie, but you get the same joy out of training combinations as you do training horses. And it's like when people, when it's consistent, if you see people regularly, it's friggin' awesome when they smash their goals.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's as good as doing it yourself, but there's nothing easy about a horse job. No. And I can't wait for you to take up teaching because I could just relax a little bit more.
Honestly. Yeah. If there's one thing about horses, it's not for the faint-hearted, is it?
Oh, hell no.
Hell no. No.
No.
I feel like one horse, if you're a one horse kind of person, I feel like you can get enjoyment out of it. If you start...
well, in some ways you can, and then in other ways it's like harder because it's more magnified. So your emotion is totally dependent on that one horse being good. And if that one horse is shit, your life is bad.
Yeah, but if you have two shit horses.
Nah, well, double bad. But normally, like when I've got like a couple on the go, or just always, there'll be like one that might take a bit of a bad day, but then another one will be really good, and so like it levels itself out.
Yeah.
But it's like...
It's really not for the faint-hearted.
No.
Just the weather alone isn't for the faint-hearted.
But do you know what? Having someone that's on the journey with you makes it a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
Because like we spend hours just like...
So we come in pretty much every evening and we sit on the sofa with a glass of wine.
Ribena.
And we put the world to rights, and we basically just, share how our horses went or how our day was, talk about our goals, and we're basically just an ear for the other person, because it is such a tough sport to be in. And if you have a bad ride on your horse, it can be really difficult, especially if you've had maybe like a few in a week, or you feel like your horse isn't progressing. You start questioning yourself, doubting yourself, and it's a really tough place to be, like mentally. If you're, you know, don't get me wrong, the highs are amazing, but I feel like you feel the lows more than you feel the highs.
Yeah, and it's the thing is, it's easy, everyone's buzzing when it's a high, but what I think like we don't really talk about it on those days. What we're really good at, it's like on the day that you've had a 45-minute lesson and it's not gone well, we'll probably spend an hour and a half, like double the amount of time in the evening, dissecting it. Well, what were you feeling?
Cry.
What was going on? Like, you know, okay, well, these are the reasons that isn't working.
Yeah.
And then, okay, you might not, it doesn't make it easy to fix it, but at least like, you know, by the time we've talked it through, we've understood what's gone on. And like what we need, then the next day you can go in with a really clear approach of what you need to make better, and that's always like, rather than just bashing your head against a brick wall because you've had a bad ride. If you have a bad ride and you don't think about that ride for the next few hours afterwards, you don't deserve a better ride the next day.
No.
Do you know what I mean? If you just get on and the horse expects it to be bad, you need to stew. You need to like go.
Where did it go wrong?
Your horse can't help it, right? Your horse doesn't know what the hell you want from it when you get on. And it's our job to make it clear.
That's the hardest
when
thing.
It's going wrong, you need to figure out why. And it's not like you're the reason every time it's going wrong. Because I hate when people say that, like, oh, the rider is the reason the horse... No, a horse can do all sorts of horrible things to you, and it will. But... Nine times out of 10 it's from a lack of understanding. Now you might ride it perfectly and it still doesn't understand, that doesn't matter. But then you've got to still think, how can I get it to understand? And it's like, you have to just take it, strip it back until you find a point where you get the horse to go,
I got you.
And then it then rebuilds.
Yeah.
Simples.
Yeah. We just went off on a tangent.
Sorry, we always do.
But this kind of brings, so when we were originally filming this video when it failed, we'd kind of had this mad idea, hadn't we? Because we love our evening chats, especially when we've had a wine. And we think
interesting.
We think we're talking so much sense and gold that we were like, we should make a podcast. And the podcast would be called, well, mine's empty now, but Wine, because we wine, and Unwind. And we even now it sounds like
wine,
I can just hear them all going, no, we don't want that.
No, they do. Anyway, it's not for you, it's for us.
No, but do you know what, like, I just feel like, you know, it's so easy for us because we have each other to talk to, but for the people that, you know, maybe come from a family that aren't very horsey or don't share their passion with them, you kind of, I can imagine how you feel like you're on your own.
Yeah.
And can go into a bit of a place where you're like, it's me, or I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, or...
We could have guest features. Sorry, this is just me. I'm just
We're brainstorming.
We could have guest features with some of our followers that have some problems, so they could like enter in, and we could pick one of you guys, and we'll do the wine and unwind with you guys, and we'll do it virtually. You can have a glass of wine. We can sit down and we can put the world to rights about what you're struggling with, and you can listen to what we're struggling with.
And it doesn't even have to be that. We could just be talking of anything.
Anything
horsey. Like if there's anything that annoys you, if there's anything that you love. Like, it doesn't have to be negative, obviously. But
well, it's a question in social media. Does it not have to be negative? Because isn't that how it is?
If we're staying on trend, it does.
Yes.
But,
actually, just drop the negativity.
But yeah, I think that's everything. I don't think we have anything more to share.
Okay, so if you want to feature on wine and unwind, then drop a comment below. Give us a 2-sentence reason why you should be featured on Wine and Unwind with us.
Yeah, and if there's anyone out there that can make like a cool logo or intro, we need that.
And if you live locally, you can come here to film it, and if you live in Mars, we'll do it virtually.
Yeah. But that's us. We're back on YouTube.
Unwind, yo.
For today. No, I'm joking. We need to.
No, we're on it now. We're back.
We're
Promise.
on it now. And yeah, it's good to be back.
Yeah.
I feel like this video was better than the first one.
Oh God, I'm so glad you didn't get yesterday or the day before. It was crap. We were waffle absolute.
I was depressed. No.
Oh, I was depressed.
I wasn't, but as soon as we started talking about stuff that made me sad, you could just, the room went dark.
Yeah. Today was more politically correct.
Today was very politically correct and positive. But that's where I am today.
And that's, again, the universe stepping in, being like, you're talking
bollocks.
I'm going to cut out your mic. And basically they did.
Yeah.
So, peace, universe.
But we've missed you. We're so glad to be back. We're sorry that it's taken this long and that people have had to message us begging us for videos.
Begging.
Please.
I don't know what to do with my evenings. I need some buzzword dressage. I need to whine and unwind. Whine. Anyway. I've gotten doolally from all my teaching.
We'll see you, I'm going to say on Wednesday.
See you Wednesday, folks.
See you Wednesday.